Deric, I'm not familiar with your platform. Tell me about the key plans.
Key points of my platform are accountability and transparency. This is my first time entering into politics, and the commitment that I'm making to myself and to anyone who wants to support me or vote for me is that I'll always be open to conversation and discourse. So there's been some criticism in the past that the North Bay Council has had difficulties engaging with the public, or there's been a sense of secrecy to some decisions, and I'd like to make sure that that's never a case while I'm present on council, if I'm present. And secondly, my motivation overall for running is just my family and an urge to improve the city so that there's opportunities and an option for my children to stay in town and be successful. So they don't have to choose between being successful or living in North Bay. I think both of those things should be able to be an option together.
What do you do?
I work for HGS Canada. It's a call center company. There is a presence in North Bay. I work at home for the corporate level of the company in long-range planning of staff. There's 2,000 employees, and I'm the software administrator of the program which facilitates all their schedules and the data reporting as it pertains to hours delivered to their clients and different elements of billable or non-billable time that the employees spend at work. So large reports and large numbers and large budgets are something that I'm familiar with, and that's some experience that I feel like I bring to the position, being able to analyze large projects, that the type that a city might engage in.
Well, that's an excellent skill to bring to the council table. Are there other planks on your platform that you want to focus on?
Some other areas of my platform that I'd like to focus on are like a green beautification, like a sense of community. So I have some pet projects that I'd like to try and introduce. One of them, namely, being I'm an avid dog person. I think having an off-leash dog space that's not as far out of the town center as the current one would be like a neat little project. It's like a minor thing, but it's an interest of mine to beautify and work on the walkways, the bike paths, and the park spaces that the city has, and have those be parts of our community that we can be really proud of. I like outdoor activities and items of that regard, so that's a focus of mine as well.
Well, lifestyle is a very important part of the community.
Yeah, so having places where people can gather and families can go and events can take place is a big part of what I'm interested in. The downtown, the waterfront facing projects that have been going on there, continuing to work on that space and make it a pride of North Bay, so that can be something that we as a community can say is our kind of like a golden item that we can point to, is something that I would like to continue the projects that are going on down there. The Golden Mile, yeah. I think it's important that a small community like North Bay have something that we have a niche, like we have something to be special, because otherwise a town of our size would just be lost in the noise, right? Unless we have something that makes us special. So if that can be our waterfront and the geography and the Descheny waterfalls and all the area around our community, if that can be our thing, then I would be for that.
First time running a campaign, what have you learned?
I've learned a lot. You're getting the best of me so far. I've definitely stumbled over some previous interviews, and I've had to really work on how you translate like thoughts to words and to come across like well thought. It's a lot to turn your thoughts and your beliefs into sentences for people. So that's been an experience, and I've self-identified as an introvert. So during events like this, I'm definitely forcing myself a little bit out there, because I realize that in order to serve my community in this regard, I do have to be extroverted and engage with people. Even though if it was something I was doing for personal leisure, I would be talking to 100 people in an hour.
Well, you're looking at one of the shyest kids that was ever in the classroom, so
okay.
I picked a career where I had to do the exact same, turn myself inside out.
Yeah, you compartmentalize. You have two people. You have the person you're doing this task, you're engaging with people, and then I literally, when I go home, I shut it off and I engage in another activity, or I read, or I do research, because there's been a lot of learning involved in doing this. So I spend some of that self-time trying to inform myself better on all the topics that people have brought to me during the day.
Sometimes I just put on a different hat.
Yeah, it's a good metaphor for it. It's different hats.
Yeah, for sure. Anything you want to say to the North Bay voters as to conclude?
No, I think I really set off with what I really want them to know, which is that I'm going to be approachable and reachable for conversation through emails, social media mediums if I'm elected. So that, again, reiterating, that's the most important thing to me. But more important than that is if you don't get informed and involved. If you feel like there's problems or issues in your community that you have a voice on, if not me, then someone needs to know about your opinion. So to talk to someone and get engaged in our local politics.
Will you run again if you don't get elected?
I'm not going to make that decision right now because this has been like a huge realization of a process for me. So if I'm not elected, I'm going to take that hopefully with good grace. I'm going to sit on it for a little bit, get engaged in my community. The things that I know are important, I'm still going to volunteer my time towards cleaning up my community. The group Clean, Green and Beautiful North Bay is a big one.
Yeah.
Just making sure that we own our community and take care of it is something that I'll probably continue to do. And I'll decide, closer to the next election cycle if I'm going to do it again. And at this moment, I feel it's likely that I would try again, but I don't want to commit to that on record.
Well, I don't blame you.
Okay.
Thank you.